Hello and welcome to my first video on the challenge of beating every GBA game or Game Boy Advance game ever made. To start out, I want to shout out TheBeast721, who is currently doing this challenge with Nintendo 64 games. Watching his videos has inspired me to do something similar, and we are going to start that today with Game Boy Advance games. This is my first time ever making a video like this and ever editing a video like this or of this size, so any feedback, criticism, whatever you may have is super appreciated. Even if this is the one and only video that you watch of mine and you don't plan on subscribing, I would love to know your feedback on how I can improve. So before we begin, there's a couple rules that I did make up. One is that I get one reroll per game, so when I roll the wheel and it lands on something that I'm just not interested in playing at that moment, I'm allowed to reroll it again. However, whatever it lands on the second time, I have to play. Also, the first game that got skipped does not get removed. That just gets pushed back and put back into the wheel for the next time. So as far as completing the games, not all games have a quote-unquote ending. So the games that have credits, they will have to be played until the credits roll. The games that don't have credits and they just have challenges, all the challenges will have to be completed. And for those infinite type games that don't really have any kind of ending at all, I will just have to experience what the game has to offer, and then I can say that I completed the game. And last but not least, I am sticking to North American released games currently, only because I don't speak Japanese and I feel like playing Japanese games is just going to slow me down. But I will consider adding Japanese games and PAL games and other region games later on. And just one last thing to note is that I reserve the right to add any new rules in the future if I want to. So here you can see I rolled my homemade script and we got a number, and that number corresponds to a Japanese release only. Great start. So we roll again, we get another number, and that corresponds to the game that we are playing today, and that is xXx. Is it a... Okay, it's not a porn game. Cool. So despite what I thought at first, xXx is not actually a porn game. It is an action game developed by Digital Eclipse and released in 2002 for the Game Boy Advance. You play the role of an NSA agent assigned to take out the crime syndicate Anarchy 99. So after all of these beautiful illustrations, you are then dumped into the questionable main menu screen. So let's look at the options real quick. Music sounded great, so we have some great options there. At the beginning of each level, you are given a little backstory and the mission objectives. In this first level, we are told there is a surprise waiting for us. Then it goes on to say that we need to locate the clock tower key, enter the clock tower, and then disable the missile. Yeah, way too spoiled the surprise. So after we load into the game here, I take a minute and try to familiarize myself with the controls, which is interesting because it's been about 15 years since I played a Game Boy Advance game. And then after getting familiar with the controls, I had to do what I do best and compliment the game. Dude, these are crazy good graphics for a freaking Game Boy. Or am I just like, do I just forget? What are the controls? Okay, not that. Okay, yeah, so maybe I haven't familiarized myself with the controls yet. After getting majorly violated by some dogs, I continued right and I climbed on this crate and found the clock tower key, which is not hidden in a very good spot, by the way. Because you can't, like, how do you shoot on an angle without walking? I don't think you can. I think you just have to do that. So it turns out that you really can't look down while moving unless you can, and I just never figured it out. So continuing on to this section, you have to do some platforming, which I'm obviously really good at. And I swear to God, if one of you makes a comment about the Cuphead journalist playing Cuphead, I will... There are these doors in this game that you can sometimes enter, and I don't know what they really are supposed to be. I don't know if you're like teleporting or entering in a different area, but they do confuse me a little bit. So I can climb. Okay, yeah, I can climb this. Can I shoot when I'm up here? Oh, I can. Nice. Can I like... I don't know what this button does. It makes a noise. So that's cool. If you like noises. Shit, you're right in the freaking toes, dude. You're in your piglets. Oh! Okay. It turns out that button is actually used for something, not just for making funny noises. Oh, is this like bombs? Super dart ammo. Oh shit! That's what that button does, by the way. It drops grenades, I guess. After doing a little bit of platforming and awesome monkey bar doing, we come across our first objective, which is the missile. Actually, it's the only objective in this part, and then we get the message that says where to exit the level. After finding the exit and going through it and completing the level, we get a statistics screen that just shows you how many people you have eliminated and your accuracy and stuff like that. And then we go on to the briefing of the next mission. For the next mission, we have to find 2 chemicals that are required to make the final chemical weapon and the missile casing to place them in the metro system. Now the wording here is a little bit strange because it makes it seem like you have to find the casing, but you actually just have to find chemical A, chemical B, and defuse a missile. I also like how they use the extreme force with an X here because, you know, why not? So right off the bat, you can tell this level is a little bit different laid out than the previous one. It's a little bit more maze-like. Also, I would like to know who is letting these robot-looking dogs just run wild in the metro system. Continuing on, we actually find our first environmental hazard, which is a landmine. You can also see the issue here with shooting on an angle. It's really hard to, if not impossible, to actually shoot those things. Then a little bit farther, we see our second environmental hazard, which is freaking electricity on a rail line. I then continue on by jumping across the top of the subway. I've actually sped it up so you can see. There is absolutely nothing here. And maybe I'm just missing something, but the game does seem to do this quite often, where it has you go to a long, go through a long area with a lot of like enemies and stuff to hurt you, to find nothing on the other end. Oh yes, that's where I need to go. What the f was that? After being a little bit surprised by our new enemy type, we continue on and we get to our first barrier, which is a door that requires a red passkey to get through, to activate. After wandering through this maze of a metro system, we actually come across the keycard that we need to open the previous door. After returning back to that locked door, we can see that we are allowed through, and here is the first chemical that we need to gather. Chemical H? It's actually chemical A, but I don't know why it's cut off on the bottom of the screen. Continuing through this room a little bit more, we actually see the green keycard that we need to continue. Continuing farther down this metro area, we come to another subway, which conveniently has the blue key card guarded by these stupid, annoying dogs. So after getting the blue passkey, we make our way back up. Now, something that's pretty common in this game is backtracking a lot. While it's pretty difficult to actually hit the mines with your gun while you're standing on the ground, if you are actually on a ladder, it's a lot easier. Well, I'm on a ladder. Okay, nice. Oh shit. Oh, I can shoot those things. Continuing on farther, we actually find the second chemical, chemical B, and all we have left to do is to defuse the missile. Here I make a pretty important discovery that you guys have probably been wondering this whole time already. Oh! That's how you do it. The only button I did not press. The select button. Yeah, that's right. I finally figured out how to switch weapons. Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know how to shoot this. I can't, like... Look, I don't know if it's possible, but this is something I struggled with the whole game. I don't know how to get those mines with a gun. I know you can throw a grenade, but to actually shoot them, I don't know how. Continuing to the left in this heavily guarded subway train with these ridiculous dogs that are super annoying, we actually find the last objective, and that is the missile. Good thing that we are bald, otherwise we would be losing some hair right now. Anyway, so now we collect the last part of the missile, and it says exit out through the service tunnel. And that completes the second mission, where we get our current and overall statistics screen again and prepare for our next mission objective. So this next mission is actually pretty interesting. It is completely different. So we have this fuel cell bike, and it doesn't get good mileage, so we have to make sure that we pick up fuel for it. Also, it says to not scratch it, which is pretty important. This is like an auto— oh shit, this is like whole different perspective, dude. So anyway, I pretty much crushed this because I'm really good at video games. So all you have to do is okay, so second time's a charm. Anyway, like I said, I'm really good at video games, so I'll just kick the other way. Okay, it's kicking and punch. What is this, road rash? Look, I don't know what this game is supposed to be, but I can tell you that I have road rash. So the main objective of this is to make sure that you collect the fuel. Well, okay, you don't have to collect all of them, but you do want to collect those fuel canisters, because if you don't, you will run out of fuel and you will fail the mission. I think we can all just agree that the Game Boy has really horrible controls. This is definitely a Game Boy issue, not a me issue, right? So here's our first peek at Vin Diesel. Yeah, that also shocked me. I guess if you understand where the game came from, I guess it's based off of the movie. I did not know that, so when I saw Vin Diesel in this game, I was pretty shocked. So eventually I learned that this is not actually about speed at all. That's all about just not getting hit and also collecting the fuel canisters. So if you go slow, you actually do pretty well. You just take quite a lot longer to get to the end. Am I like a pro at this game? How far do I go? The distance bar has been filled for like ever. Yeah, that's something that kind of was annoying, that the distance bar, once it reaches full, it takes a little bit while after that before the mission actually is complete. That being said, we successfully completed that mission, and we are on to the next one. And if you're wondering, no, you did not miss any part of the story. They didn't explain where we were going in the previous objective, but I guess we are going to Sedlik, if I'm pronouncing that right, where Anarchy has a secret base. So in this objective, in this mission, we have to unlock it by triggering 4 hidden switches. And of course, the radar is detecting that there is a missile in the area, so we have to also dismantle that. The first thing that I've noticed about this mission is that we start by running left, which is new. All the previous levels we've started by running right. And also, another thing is, yep, the bullshit dogs are back, which is great. We also are introduced to this new enemy, this blue armored guy. And we come up to our first door, which of course needs a red pass card to activate. Yeah, this game's gonna get hard. I can just smell it. So after smelling the difficulty, we come up to another door that is locked, and we have to actually trip all the secret switches to open this one. Here's where we also learn that there are some elements in the levels that you can interact with, like these statues of skulls that you can jump on. After continuing through the maze a little bit, we find our first bone switch, which is helpful because now we actually know what we're looking for. Why is the font cut off? Like, is that how it legitimately is? That's annoying. Look, I know it probably annoyed you, and it also annoyed me. Continuing on, we find this room with an army guy, a red passport, or pass card, excuse me, and we are introduced to a new element where we can pick up guns. So we got an AK-47. So this game is kind of always changing a little bit and adding new elements. So here we actually had to do some platforming to find this secret ladder to flip the second bone switch. If you were just walking on the ground normally, you wouldn't actually be able to see this ladder, so it required you to do some platforming. Continuing through this door, we find our third bone switch, which is 3 out of 4. We also see that there is this outside area, kind of like graveyard, that we can go and explore. But it's really weird because there's not really anything here. There is a clip for the AK-47 and there is a health pack. But the game does seem to do this where it puts these whole sections in the game that don't really have much in them. Despite the pause menu literally telling you how many more switches you have to do, I thought I had them all. I went down and tried to unlock the door, and of course I didn't. So a big thing about this game, which is a very, very common occurrence for me, and which attributed to most of my time playing it, was trying to find the last of anything. Typically I have a pretty good memory when it comes to video games, but for some reason, especially this game in general, everything just kind of blended together and it was very hard for me to remember where I've been, where I haven't been, which ladder leads where, and so I just had to re-explore the same level over and over and over again many times. But we do eventually discover the final bone switch. We hit it, we go through the door, and now we come down this tunnel where it has the green pass card. And here's the one and only time I've really found a glitch in this game, and that's when I tried to climb up this ladder. It just wouldn't let me from, I guess, the angle that I was sitting at. It was a little bit strange, which is actually really impressive if you think about it. Video games back then could not get patches, so however it was shipped, that's how it is. We then continue on and we see this moving platform with these spike looking things below it, so that's a new element in the game. Dude, am I like becoming a pro at this game? So after giving myself a compliment, we find the missile that we are supposed to disarm, and we continue up the ladder to the left, and that ends this stage. Our next mission is to disable 4 missiles, and to disable them we need to get to 4 keys, except there's only 3 keys, and then one of the keys is a lockpick that one of the agents has smuggled in. But pretty much we just basically have to find 4 keys. So this mission takes place in the mines, which is a huge maze and also has a lot of elements that are painful. Like this, for example, there is a geyser type thing that is shooting a flame. This is also the level where you are introduced to freaking turrets, which are the biggest pain in the ass. They are the worst thing in this entire game, and they make me want to pull my hair out. So this is probably the most perfect representation of this entire level right here. We have flame, we have this board that gives out, then I find shotgun cartridges, which is great. I don't know where the hell the shotgun is. And then, oh goody, here's our good friend, the mine. But that's fine. I'm going to totally just learn how to shoot it, right? So let's give it a go. We have our gun at an angle, we're walking, and never mind, it shot me. No worries. Oh, now we fell through. Oh, now there's blast shield guys. Oh, now there's a turret. Oh, that's okay. Let's just continue. Oh, there's more blast shield guys. That's fine. That's fine. Just keep running. And there's more turrets. And there's blast shield guys. And there's 3 flames. And holy shit. Either way, I digress. We continue on after trying to figure out where we are, because by the way, if you didn't realize, at the beginning of the level, I fell all the way down to the bottom, accidentally. Anyway, we come across these new bars. We see that we need a blue pass card to access them, so now we continue our journey through this insane tunnel, maze, mine, bullcrap to try to find where that pass key is. So after a little bit of Dora the Exploring, we find this little elevator platform. We see that there is a red cart pass key on the side. Hit these turrets, which are the bane of our existence, and then to the right here we see that there is a door that requires the red pass key. Here you can also see the mechanics of how the platforms work. So some of them by default will go down and some of them by default will go up, and they will only switch directions if you are actively standing on them. You'll also notice that there are a lot of these cracks that you can fall through, and if you fall through them, the good thing is you don't die, but the bad thing is you end up back at the bottom of the maze. It's fine though. Things don't respawn. That is the only thing that is making this even semi-possible to do. And that's actually very true. So the nice thing about this game is once you kill an enemy, the enemy stays dead. So you can slowly pick them off, and then you don't have to worry about coming back to an area or coming back anywhere and them being back alive. So we successfully collected the red pass key, and sorry, that was my croc. If you heard something, it was my croc squeaking. Ah yes, the classic, that was my croc squeaking, not my ass creaking. So here's something cool. We actually ride this elevator for such a long time that we can see that they implemented a idle animation. After using the pass card, getting through that door, destroying this stupid turret that we all hate. Say it together with me, we all hate it. We find one of the missiles that we have to defuse. Once we defuse a missile, we exit out the way that we came in, and then we do our favorite thing, and that is explore the whole damn map to figure out where to go next. Yay. Okay, so if you run out of ammo, it automatically switches you to a different gun. That's good to know. So the way that the guns work in this game is every specialty gun has a limited amount of ammo, but your default pistol has unlimited. So if you run out of ammo in a special gun, you will just default to your regular pistol. Continuing down and into the place that we have not been, we discover that there is another missile down here. And what comes with missiles? Yes, that's right. The stupid turrets that we all hate, right? We all hate them. They suck. Anyway, we defuse the missile and then we kill that stupid turret, even though we would never come back here anyway, so we didn't actually really have to destroy it, but it pisses me off. Here we actually find the lockpick that is just sitting in the level, so it's basically like the keycard, it is just has a different sprite, essentially. And then we continue and kill this stupid armored shield guy. It's a pretty big toss-up between those shield guys and the turrets on which ones piss me off the most, but they both really suck. So here we go, we defused the next missile, and then we continue on through this insane maze to find the last one that we have to do. We lose our whole brain today. So I kind of already knew that the grenades would be the best against those guys. The problem is the grenades are just limited supply, so once you use them up, you're kind of screwed. And in the same room is the missile that we need to disarm to continue on, and conveniently the door that we needed the lockpick for is also located right there. And what is waiting for us at the end to give us a lovely goodbye is a freaking... The next mission is also a driving game again, but this time we have to go to Bruno, B-R-N-O, I don't know how to pronounce that, and deal with the situation. The biggest thing you'll see here is how much better I am at the game. So yeah, anyway, like I was saying, so you'll notice here how much better I actually... Okay, yes, I'm just being silly. So I'm actually really good at this game. I've learned a lot. All jokes aside, I've actually been getting pretty okay at the controls. As you can see here, I'm doing people would call these advanced maneuvers and gameplay gaming. So take that for what it is. Never mind. And then other times, you know, the game just decides that if you miss the bush, it doesn't matter, you're still ramping. You know that saying, once you fall off the horse, you gotta get it back up on its legs again or something like that? So I did it again, got it, first try, didn't even get in an accident. You know, I just didn't want to show all that because I just want this video to be very long. But trust me, I definitely didn't even get in one single accident. The next mission objectives is to locate 10 canisters of radioactive plutonium that the leveling mob and Burno have acquired. So the next level, you start out on the left side of this building and you have to make your way through all of them to find the canisters of plutonium. Press the wrong button. I'm in motorcycle mode right now. I know that sounds funny, but it's actually really true. The motorcycle controls and the main gameplay controls are really confusing to me. We also just got a glimpse of I think a retexture or a recolor of a texture that already exists. That steam back there looked very similar to the fire of the previous level, and I believe that it is just a recolored version of the same sprite. So one thing I keep saying is how this game is kind of like a maze, and this area shows it off pretty well. So we are up here, we're in the building, we go over here, and we are now outside of the building. When we go up to this rooftop, we encounter, I believe it's a new enemy that we haven't seen yet, and it's a guy who has akimbo guns. He sucks because you can see here, if you duck, you still get hit by the bullets, and if you jump, well, it's pretty hard to avoid because he shoots pretty fast. But just behind him, we pick up one of the deadly canisters, and then we continue into this other room and we get another one of the deadly canisters. This part's a little interesting. I thought I could jump over it, but turns out you can't. In this room, we get our first look at a new enemy. It is this girl that is throwing knives. There's also this weird little ledge here that when I try to throw grenades, it just bounces back at me, which is not fun. And we continue on a little bit, we find another roof, and of course there's another akimbo guy defending the next canister. Okay, great. Found another one. Don't know where the hell I am, Narnia or something. That's something that I've expressed many times in this playthrough, that it's very hard to remember where you are. This whole game is very much of a maze. Anyway, we continue through here, we shoot out this stupid turret that we all learn to hate, and we get the next canister. So here's where the fun starts. I die. And when you die, you have to do everything over from the beginning again. But thankfully, that is a one-time only thing because I am really good at this game. No! Why is this game so hard? So just remember, there's a counter in the bottom left corner that you can see how long it takes me to get back to where I was. Coming through these retextured flames, we can find another deadly canister. And then coming up to this room, guarded by multiple turrets, multiple akimbo guys, we find another canister. And we are almost freaking dead. Oh my god. We got one more. Oh! On our search for the last one, we encounter this akimbo guy, and then we find this door. That is not the door, that is the exit. We then find this area where we can see health and a gun over here on this roof. So So then we explore a little bit to figure out how to maybe get down there. We also have some difficulty climbing. So it turns out you can actually just walk off the left side of here, drop down to here, and guarded by this akimbo guy is our last canister that we need. Going back to where we found that locked door, we can now exit it and finish this level. This next mission requires us to find and neutralize a bunch of missiles, as well as find and neutralize a virus. This one starts off pretty rough. We have these blue army guys, or I guess they're the Anarchy 99 guys, and we're in their kind of underground bunker trying to find their cache of missiles and find the virus that we have to neutralize. Here we find one of the new obstacles, which is a intruder alarm, intruder turret system that we have to find the switches for to turn them off. I should be switching to a different gun, but I'm not because I'm stupid. Yeah, don't worry. I know there's probably a lot of people commenting that about how if I switch to a different gun, I'd make things a lot easier. I recognize that. Here we run into another new obstacle, which is this weird laser beam thingy that hurts you quite a bit if you touch it, so don't do that. After shooting this guy in the ankle for about 15 minutes, we can pop up here and we can flip the switch, which disables the intruder activated turrets, or at least a specific set of them. There's also the shotgun up here that we can take. Continuing on, we find this door that we cannot activate because we need a red pass card, and behind said door is also a green pass card. After that, I fall into this pit of hell, which is trying to boil me and shock me alive. You'll see why I call this the pit of hell later on. I then ride this little platform that takes me over to the secret area over here, and then on the other side of these enemies, there is a ladder that takes me deeper. After killing the Nightmare Akimbo dude, we are faced with another locked door that requires the red pass card. Going back up and around, we find another door that also requires a red pass card to activate. After a couple minutes, we come across this room with an AK-47, a deadly laser, and also the next switch to turn off the intruder activated turrets. Nice. This was it. After going past the activated turrets on the top right that you've now disabled, we come across this platforming section, which is actually quite weird because we don't know what's below us and if it's even safe to drop down, but we continue, and then up here to the right is the red pass key that we need to access those two other doors. I'm a little confused where I am. Yeah, so that's kind of a common complaint that I have with this game, especially in this weird platforming area here. It's really hard to tell where you are and if you're high or low or where you are in relation to anything else on the map. So we continue through here and we dodge all of these lasers and we come to the missile caches. So these are actually what we're looking for, but I don't know that at the time because it's not quite obvious what they are. All I know is that I can't shoot enemies through them and it gets really annoying. So at this point, I didn't really understand what to do. I was confused why it made me come all the way here for absolutely nothing. I attempt to throw a grenade and destroy it, nothing happens, so I'm a little pissed off because I'm about to die again and start this whole thing over from the beginning. Here's where I paused the game because I felt like those missile boxes were important somehow. I noticed that it said 8 missile cases, and so then I went back and I counted all of them. I'm like, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 4 up there. That's 8. So what am I supposed to do with these things? So I sit here for quite a while shooting them, thinking, I don't know what to do with them. I can't interact with them at all. I go up to it, I press the button to throw a grenade. I thought maybe that if I was touching it, I would interact with it. The grenade luckily happened to blow it up, and then that's when I realized these things just take a lot of damage. Finally, after a long time, all 8 cases were destroyed, and now we just have to locate the virus. So remember when I said that the platforming kind of sucked because you didn't know what was below you? Yeah. So this is where the hell begins. The platform in this game is also extremely finicky. You have to be close to the edge to make these jumps, but you also can't be too close or else the jump button just doesn't want to work. Oh yeah. You also have to watch out for those stupid akimbo guys that will just kill you and make it so you have to play this whole thing over again from the beginning. So after what felt like a million hours, I finally got back to where I was, almost dead by the way, grabbed the green key card, and let's go to the exit. Except, I don't remember where the exit is. So guess what? I am back in hell. That's where I need to go. I remember now. Yeah, there is a skinny tunnel. That's where I need to go. Well, perhaps it's over here? Farther. So I went up there last time. That was my issue. I had to go farther and then follow down that secret tunnel. So yes, I was very lucky that I could see the tunnel that I needed to go to and remembered how to get to it from the bottom of the subway. The only problem is I am 1 hit away from dying. Again. We then continue on through this basement, almost dying, biting our nails super short till they bleed, because again, I am 1 hit away from permanently dying. I then get to this door, and then that's when I realize that is the ending. It is not over. The nightmare is not over. So just above the exit tunnel and below the subway, there is another door that we can access that has the final chemical. Then once we pick that up, it tells us that we're free to go to the exit, which we've already cleared, so it's just a breeze, walk in the park from here. So the next mission, apparently we are going home. They got our bike ready, and they picked a scenic route for us. Since these things are pretty much copy and paste of each other with just a little bit of different detail, I wanted to show you what a full bike level looked like. So here it is from the beginning to end, sped up really fast, and you can actually see how incredibly long and kind of boring they are. By the way, if you're bored of watching this, just a reminder, this is sped up to 1000% speed. So I know what you're thinking. The last mission was about coming home and enjoying a scenic route. Great. Must be over, right? Nope. There's another level. So in this one, you have to find the kernel, you have to kill them, you have to get their key, you have to find the detonator, and you have to defuse the bomb that is in this extreme sports arena. This part of the game has the weirdest quirk that I've seen, so you have to go this way, yet I can't jump up here. As you can see, I cannot jump up there, I cannot jump up there, it just does not work. So then I go through the whole level again, trying to figure out where to go. I'm like, there's no other place to go, it must be there. I come back, and as you can see, I made the jump. Now we're on the other side of the stadium, and we are faced with our favorite thing in the game, a turret. I genuinely don't know if it's even possible to destroy them. I don't know how you're supposed to get into a door and destroy them without getting hit. So in order to enter any of the doors, we either need the key from the kernel or we need to finish the level. So up the stairs on the right side of the arena, we actually see that there is a ladder that allows us to get up to, I guess it's a Jumbotron, I'm not really sure. But before we get to the Jumbotron, we actually see another obstacle that we've not seen before, and that is electrified wires. Making our way across the Jumbotron platform, we see that there is an akimbo guy and he is blocking the detonator that we need. After climbing the top of the Jumbotron and then walking across to the left side, we can see that we can come down into this building. This building is full of these Anarchy 99 guys and also a crap ton of turrets. After continuing through about 1.5 million rooms, we are faced with this guy dressed in green, and he's the colonel, and he holds the keys that we require. The only problem with the colonel is that he is extremely strong, and this room is full of turrets. Yeah, I have one hit left in me and I'm dead. So unfortunately something really sad is about to happen, and the unfortunate part is it never actually had to happen. Oh, when I meant something sad is about to happen, yeah, I meant twice. So, third time's the charm, right? So yeah, this is where I learned that once you kill him, you don't have to proceed. You remember that door in the basement that we saw that we required the kernel key for? Well, we have the kernel's key, so let's just go to that door. So after skipping that part of the level, going down to the basement, using the key, we go past these spicy wires, kill these few guys, cry because we're about to die, jump up, realize that we can just hang from above and shoot them in the head. So somewhere in the basement, we were able to find the missile that we had to dismantle, Once we killed the dumb turret and the guys that were protecting it, we were then done the level and we could exit using the door in the right hand side. Now for the final mission, it's a little bit unique. We have to find Yorgi, who is holed up in a TV tower. There's auto turrets that we have to find the switches for, and also something that we have to do is kill every enemy in this level. All the previous levels, we were able to kill whoever we wanted and leave whoever we wanted, but one of the requirements for this level is to make sure everyone dies. So to be able to continue, we had to find the switch up in this tower to be able to disable one set of the auto turrets. This is also where I found out how many people we actually had to kill. That's it? It was just one switch? Oh no, because three. Whoa, I have to oh yeah. I have to defeat 91 enemies? Yeah, I didn't expect it to be 91 enemies. Well, in fact, it was more than that. I think it was probably 100 enemies, but I already killed a few leading up to that point. Being able to stand on this ladder like this and shoot them in the legs is really helpful. It's also really cool that they implemented this whole like animation for it. Moving up farther in the tower, you can see some auto turrets that we have not found the switch for, so then we make our way back down so we can go look for the switch. So the next switch is located in this room of freaking nightmares. Down in this little tunnel-y area, we found the final switch, and then we have to make our way up to the top to eliminate the last enemy. Once we eliminated the last enemy, we just had to get through this set of spicy wires, and we're done. Okay, well, we're not quite done yet because Yorgi escaped. So now we have to go find him in a secret underground bunker at that. And this is like the final boss fight. So this boss fight doesn't take very long, but I kind of wanted to include the whole thing for you guys to see because it's very strange. It just doesn't make sense. The Yorgi guy moves very strangely. There's like these weapons laying around everywhere. There's turrets everywhere. It's strange. It's a very strange final mission. The one thing that I will say is that I'm extremely lucky how this turned out because I was very, very close to dying. And that right there is the end of the story. We have this little info here that says that we annihilated the Anarchy 99, that we basically joined a gang, I guess. I don't know. There's all these photos. I don't really know what this one's depicting, but we're in a jet. There's like a beach. I guess we're on vacation. I don't really know. I don't know who this person is that is showing us, but she's clearly important, I guess. And that is it. The credits roll. We beat the game. 3 hours and 55 minutes. So that is it. The first game is down in this whole challenge. It is going to take a while. This one took so long to edit. This was the first time that I've ever edited something like this before. So it's pretty rough around the edges. I really hope that I can improve on it. I do believe that I will improve on it, especially when we have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of games to get through. But if you guys have any suggestions, recommendations, feedback, whatever, I genuinely would love to know. So yeah, that's about it. Just stay tuned. We're going to pick the next game at the end of the video, and stay subscribed. Also, I stream these live on Twitch, so my link is in the description. Also, twitch.tv/Resoluxion. I'd like to also rate all of these games when I'm done playing them. I give this one a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. I don't really have much of a reference, so that might be a little too high, a little too low. I'm not sure. I had a lot of fun. I thought each level added something unique, something new. The fact that this is a Game Boy game, like, it had quite a bit of depth. Also, the fact that I believe I read that this was created in less than 2 months and it received negative feedback upon release. I don't feel that way. I thought it was really well done, especially if we're being made in 2 months. So here we are rolling for our next game. We'll use the same script that we used at the beginning of the video, and we got number 778, which is Looney Tunes Double Pack.